Welcome everyone. Welcome to NS Institute. Today we'll learn about this chemical explosive. This is a very important topic for the CBCS major and minor chemistry aspirants. So whenever just we are getting this kind of word that explosive, the first word or the first thing which is striking in our mind is the bomb, right? Bomb सभी लोग देखे हैं, right? And when the bomb explodes, what we are getting? Huge amount of energy, heat and sound, right? एक बॉम्ब एक्सप्लोड होने के बाद जनरली हम लोगों को जो मिलता है huge amount of energy, heat and sound. So basically the explosive is a very high potential energy substance or it can be a mixture of substances, right? एक substance हो सकता है और a mixture of substances. एंड ये भी हम लोगों को पता है कि एक बॉम्ब अपने आप एक्सप्लोड नहीं हो सकता, so it should be influenced by the thermal or mechanical shock. Now coming to the third point, the decomposition should be instant or it should undergo decomposition readily, because एक बॉम्ब जब एक्सप्लोड होता है वो इंस्टेंटली होता है, वो रेडली होता है। ऐसा नहीं है कि टाइम टू टाइम धीरे 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 वो प्रोग्रेस करेगा। जो डिकम्पोज होगा इंस्टेंट डिकम्पोजिशन शो करेगा। नाउ कमिंग टू द फोर्थ पॉइंट, that whenever the bomb is being exploded, so basically the explosives, the result of these explosion will produce huge volume of products, heat and sound as usual. Now this overall explosion or these explosion of the substances are actually fast. It is actually exothermic. Why? Because we are getting heat or heating is generated, and it is actually oxidation reaction. So basically what should be the complete definition of a chemical explosive? So chemical explosive may be defined as a high potential energy substance, or it can be a mixture of substances that can be influenced by thermal or mechanical shock, which to undergo instant decomposition to give huge volume of products, heat and sound. Now these explosion of substances are fast, exothermic and oxidation reaction to give different kind of simple substances like oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide and water vapors. These are the simple products which we are actually getting after the explosion. So now coming to an example, the picture will be brighter comparatively. Now this is dynamite. This means we have already heard this kind of explosive, right? Most of us are already known with this kind of term, but very few among us are actually familiar with the active ingredient which is actually acting in this dynamite. So the active ingredient in dynamite is nitroglycerin. The chemical formula is C3H5NO3, which actually undergo explosion to give water, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, oxygen along with heat. Now the main point in this reaction is the volume. See the volume. Now if you are taking the 1 unit of volume of C3H5NO3, so you will get 10,000 times of volume of products after the explosion. See the difference, that 1 unit of volume of this nitroglycerin will produce 10,000 times of volumes of products, right? So this is actually huge. This is the power of explosive. So now there are other explosives also which we will discuss a bit. Now here are some other important examples of chemical explosives. First one is RDX. Now most of us are familiar with this term RDX. But what is the full form of RDX? RDX means research development explosive. This is one kind of explosive which is severely used in kind of this research development purpose, right? Okay, so what is the structure of RDX? RDX is actually 135 trinitro parhydro 135 triazine. Second one is that TNT. TNT we have already learned in class 12 standard. TNT means that trinitrotoluene, that is 2,4,6 trinitrotoluene. You have already come to know the structure of toluene. So these ortho and para position is substituted by the nitro group. Third one, that is picric acid. So it is almost a similar structure of TNT. So picric acid means 2,4,6 trinitrophenol. We have already know the structure of phenol. So these ortho and para positions are substituted by the nitro groups. Now third, this one is lead azide, that is PbN3 whole 2. And last one is the FOX7. This is very important. Now the FOX7 in short form, it is written as DATNA. DATNA means that 1,1 diamino, that is 1,1 diamino, then 2,2 di in for nitroethylene. So these are few examples. Actually, there are many other examples of chemical explosives, but we have taken a few important. Now, the organic compounds which are capable of instant decomposition under the influence of thermal or mechanical shock is actually an explosive. Now, the molecules of such compounds should contain at least one nitrogen-nitrogen or nitrogen-oxygen or oxygen-chlorine or nitrogen-chlorine or carbon-carbon bond which can break easily to start the reaction. And the reaction should be fast, it should be exothermic, and it should produce huge volume of products, right? So now coming to the point, what are the important characteristics of chemical explosive reaction? Now the reaction should be fast, as we have already come to know. It should be exothermic and it should be oxidation reaction. And the temperature at the time of explosion is about 5,000 degrees centigrade for a strong explosion. Not every explosive reaction will produce this kind of temperature, but for a strong explosion, this 5,000 degrees centigrade temperature is required. That is the range. Now, large volume of gaseous substances should be produced, like oxygen, like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, then nitrogen, water vapors. These are the simple substances which we are usually getting after the explosion. But the important thing is the volume. Now, volume of these gaseous substances are actually 10,000 to 20,000 times of the explosive material. So this is the main thing you should notice. And the pressure of the released gases, that is the product pressure of the released gases, is 1,50,000 to 2 lakh kg per centimeter square when the explosion occurs. Now coming to the point, that what are the important characteristics of good chemical explosive. These are the characteristics of explosive reaction. Now coming to the point, good for characteristics of good chemical explosive. Now, the first thing is that whenever you're thinking to use an explosive, the first thing you should think that it should be cheap and easily available. If it is not cheap or if it is not easily available, then there will be not much usage, or you may think that you will not use that. Okay, now second point is that it should not be volatile. If it is volatile, then it is having no usage, or it should not be hygroscopic in nature. If it will be hygroscopic, then it may absorb the moisture from the air, then it may explode unnecessarily, or it may be damaged also based on the condition, based means upon the different conditions it will behave differently. Now it should be chemically stable, because whenever you are carrying the explosive in a sealed container, it should not react with the walls of the container, so that so it should be chemically stable in nature. Now the reaction should be fast, it should be exothermic. We have already come to know this point. The next point is no poisonous gas should be produced, because if any kind of poisonous gas is produced, then the explosive will not be good in nature. It should be destructive in nature, right? It should be destructive. It should be named as destructive chemical explosive. So for the good chemical explosive, it should not produce any kind of poisonous gas. Then it should contain at least one covalent bond, like nitrogen nitrogen, nitrogen oxygen, oxygen chlorine, nitrogen chlorine, or carbon carbon, which can break easily to initiate or to start the reaction. And the last point that is very important, that it should have positive oxygen balance. Now on the next slide we will explain this term, that is what is positive oxygen balance. Now we will learn about oxygen balance, and we will also learn how to calculate the oxygen balance of a particular chemical explosion reaction. Now in a particular chemical explosive, there can be carbon atom, there can be oxygen, nitrogen atom, there can be several other atoms also. But if oxygen is present in a particular chemical explosive, it may oxidize. It is not mandatory that it will oxidize the carbon and hydrogen, it may oxidize the carbon and hydrogen of the same molecule. So what is the definition of oxygen balance? So it is the oxygen contained in the molecule which can be utilized to oxidize carbon and hydrogen of the same molecule to carbon monoxide and water. Okay, so this is the definition of oxygen balance. And this is the thumb rule that how we will calculate the oxygen balance. That is z minus x plus y by 2 divided by molecular weight of that particular explosive into 100. So, for example, this is an explosive that is CXHYOZ, which is giving after explosion that x moles of carbon monoxide and y by 2 moles of water vapor. Then you will calculate the oxygen balance like z minus x plus y by 2 divided by molecular weight of that particular explosive into 100. Now, note down, you are having two homework. I have written here two explosion reactions of two explosives. That is, first one is the RDX, second one is the lead azide. RDX the reaction dekho, that RDX will undergo the chemical reaction to produce 3 moles of carbon monoxide, then 3 moles of water vapor plus 3 moles of nitrogen. And lead acid will produce this lead and 3 moles of nitrogen. As per this method or as per this equation, you should calculate the oxygen balance of this RDX and lead acid, and you will have to comment. You will have to write the answer in the comment section. And you will also get the study material of this whole topic, that is whatever you are learning today, that is a chemical explosive, in the description box. And if you are not able to find the study material, then you will find the telegram link in the description box. Just message us, we will provide you the study material. But just you should note these two questions, and you will have to answer these two questions in the comment box. Okay, we will check that. So as per this equation, try to calculate oxygen balance for both of these reactions, that RDX and lead acid. And after the calculation, you will come to know a different result. Okay, after the calculation, you will come to know a different result. What is that? That in the last slide, we have already come to know one point, that for a good chemical explosive, it should have a positive oxygen balance. Okay, for a good chemical explosive, it should have a positive oxygen balance. Now, this positive oxygen balance, actually, it is not mandatory, but most of the explosives are having positive oxygen balance. We will come to know that most of the chemical explosives will have positive oxygen balance, but it is not essential or it is not mandatory that to be a explosive, the oxygen balance should be positive. Many explosives are having negative or zero oxygen balance. Like, for example, you will most of you all know that TNT, that is trinitrotoluene or 2,4,6 trinitrotoluene, it is an explosive, and the and the oxygen balance of that particular explosive is actually negative, but still it is an explosive, right? And whenever you will calculate these two na, you will already come to know why I am telling this. Just try to calculate that, and write in the comment section the answer. Whatever you will get, just write that in the comment section, that what will be the oxygen balance of RDX and what will be the oxygen balance of lead acid. And you will come to know whatever I am telling, that for it is not essential. Many explosives are having positive oxygen balance, but it is not essential or it is not mandatory to have the positive oxygen balance for to be an explosive. Many explosives can have negative or zero oxygen balance. For example, you may take TNT. That is, TNT is having negative oxygen balance, but still it is a explosive. Okay. Now, coming to the last topic of our first part of chemical explosive, that is the usages of explosive. Whenever we're thinking about the usages of explosives, the first thing which is striking in your mind, that is, it is destructive in nature, which is actually not. Now, the usages of these explosives can be categorized into two parts, or it can be classified into two parts, that is constructive usages and destructive usages. Based on the type of usages, you can classify these as constructive usages and destructive usages. Now coming to the point, that is constructive usages of explosives. Now it can be used for blasting ores of irons or mining salts or breaking down coal, etc. Or for example, that whenever you are visiting to the mountains now, so there can be there several tunnels can be constructed in through that mountain. So for that blasting you need huge amount of energy. For that reason explosives are used there. So these are constructive usages. For quarrying of limestone also, or for excavating earth. Excavating earth means that production of dam. Dam means that whenever you are just storing that storing that water. So for excavating earth also these explosives are used, or for seismic prospecting also. And different explosives are used also for blasting rocks or gold mining. Specifically dynamites are used here for blasting rocks and gold mining. We are using mainly dynamite. Now coming to the destructive nature of explosive. So first one is the TNT. TNT means that 246 trinitrotoluene. It is the principal military explosive since 1920. Why it is vigorously used? Because it is very cheap, it is easily available and chemically stable also. Second one is the gunpowder. It is basically used in bombs and propellants. Then third one is the mixture of RDX, trinitrotoluene, and then aluminium. It is used in torpedo warheads. And last one is the Torpex. It is a typical explosive. Generally, it is a mixture of these RDX, trinitrotoluene, and aluminum. So these basically 40% RDX is used with 40% trinitrotoluene and then 20% aluminum. So basically, it is used in bombs, exploder, and detonators. So basically, these are the overall usages of explosives, and this is the overall first part of chemical explosives. Whatever we have learned in this, that what is the particular definition of explosive, what are the important characteristics of a explosive reaction, what are the important characteristics of a good explosive, what is the oxygen balance, and what are the usages. And the usages means that there will be there can be these can be classified under two categories, that is the constructive usages and another one is the destructive usages. So this is the overall first part of chemical explosive. So do the homework as I have already told you, that write in the comment section whatever the answer you will get. And for the study material you will get that in the description box, or if you are unable to find that, then there will be a link of Telegram. So through that link just join us or message us for the study material. We will provide that. So thank you for watching this video, and please like that video and share as much as possible, and subscribe our channel. See you in the next class. Bye bye.